controversies in Baba's life towards the end was that infamous Sapul land that he was trying to get rid of, right? So one of the things he did was that he had told his younger sister that he wanted to set up a charitable foundation in his high school from the excess money, because in his estimation it was free money. Like, he didn't know he had it, so why not? So apparently my aunt had already gone ahead and spoken to the high school that my dad went to, Williams High School, to set up a small foundation, but then the land deal went awry and it was not a good thing. So she left it. So now I spoke to her last night, so we're gonna go ahead and go forward with it. Okay? Now we need to figure out as a family how much money we're gonna put together. Okay? A year. Okay? And this is collectively a family obligation. Okay? I want everyone to know that we're going to do something interesting, you know? What we're going to do is two-pronged, okay? One is that we're going to go ahead and give a scholarship based on merit. Because, you know, in India we have the lower caste, and, you know, we give special consideration to all that stuff. So one of the things that we're going to do, I think it's going to make sense, is whoever the top students are, regardless of caste, this, that, they're going to get money. But we don't want to forget the fact that there are people who are backward class, lower caste, untouchables, whatever you want to say, who really have to work much, much harder than everybody else. And that we want to give them
because money is a big issue
for them. Okay, we don't know how much, but we want to do it. Okay, it might be smaller than everything else, but the thing is, it's so interesting. The amount of money is really a pittance. It's almost embarrassing. $2,000, $3,000 a year, not even.
It's something more.
And we're not even. If we really want to be generous, we may be talking $3,000 to $4,000 a year, but not even. Which is a very small endowment, to be honest with you. And that's.
But it'll change 30, 40 lives a year.
A year, you know, it's amazing. Okay, but do not be surprised if I'm asking you guys, you know, to give a couple $100 throughout the year. I'm not going to be shy. I'm not. You know, and I expect you guys to do it. We're going to do the initial work. Okay, I've asked my aunt to, first of all, we're going to do our homework. So when I take Tata's ashes back this time, which is again very stressful for me, thinking about it makes me hyperventilate. You know, so it's very stressful for me because there's going to be a whole huge set of, you know, things with that. We're going to meet up with the high school principal. Now we're going to set out the parameters as to what we want.
I also want them to look into possibly changing the name of the school.
That's
naming rights.
Only because it's a government high school, but we don't know. What we
because it's named after, it was named during the British rule.
Yeah. That's why it's called Williams High School.
By far, Papa is, you know, in that area.
And we got some articles and stuff like that that were published locally about him when he died. So we have all that stuff. And basically what the thing is that people got together at my aunt's house and were sharing stories about Papa. They all knew about him, they all knew what he did, what he accomplished, and it just seems interesting that they all remembered, and they all had all the same stories, you know, so she just is really focused now. She's like, because, you know, he talked about it with her too, which is great, because I'm so glad, because I thought he only talked about it to us, but I'm glad he spoke to it about with his sister too, you know. She's like the perfect person now to kind of lead it. So I think it's good. So now we're going to get the ball rolling. So expect that what my whole goal is that by the end of the year, we get this thing rolling.
At least get it started.
And then get the word out.
See how we're going to do.
Can start competing for this money. Because let me tell you, 5,000 rupees is less than $100. You know what a difference that makes in one student's life? It's huge. Huge. For us, it's a joke. We're gonna pay that for dinner.
No, you're gonna pay for
more.
3. Yeah.
No, it's a joke. So I think that's kind of how you start thinking about things. And how
And
I
this
want to start.
is what makes Bob proud too.
This is gonna make him happy. His name is gonna continue in his small town, and
We got to get the naming rights to that
people
school.
are going to long
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
awesome.
yeah. Are you guys all in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ekta, you all in?
Of course.
On record. This is on video.
It just, it's so funny because in speaking to my aunt, who's like the baby of the family, right? Because she's just older. What's the difference between you and Awanadi? 6 years. I mean, it's weird, but she is the baby of the family. I could just see almost like an excitement. There's nothing been exciting in her life, obviously. She stopped doing puja, she stopped going out, she stopped going to work. She hasn't been able to do anything
Since Papa's been sick.
since Papa has passed away.
Yeah.
And suddenly there was like a little spark in her voice and I don't know what to say, like she had something to do. And maybe that's kind of what we all need to do now, have something to do.
It's a big deal.
It's a very big deal, so it's going to be good.
Okay, thank
And we
you.
get to do it on